Welcome to the sixth episode of Football Heaven 24/7. I'm your host, Jamie Carter. Basically, we're going to do a review of this week's football coming up. It'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We'll go straight into it. So, basically, looking down at Saturday's games today, coming up tomorrow. This is being recorded on Friday. We've got Brentford against Burnley. I think that will be a 2-2 draw. We've got Brighton against Liverpool. I'm going to go with Liverpool 3-1. Got Manchester United against Tottenham. I'm going to go with Tottenham on that one, 2-1, because Man United are falling to pieces at the moment. Not good, but the usual. Flicking into the Championship, Bournemouth is playing against Derby. That's going to be, I think, 1-0 to Derby, because Derby are going to stay up, I think, unfortunately. As a lot of my Forest fan mates obviously absolutely hate Derby. Got Barnsley against Fulham. That's a 12:30 kickoff. Barnsley fighting for their lives, but Fulham are just too good. I'll go 3-1 Fulham. Birmingham's playing Hull. I will say in that game, I'll go with 1-1 in that game. Blackburn against Bristol City. Blackburn, they're falling off a bit. They're still in the playoffs. But Bristol City are all right. They're quite decent as well. But I'll go with 2-1 to Blackburn on that one. It's got Blackpool against Swansea. Swansea's been picking up a bit recently, but Blackpool are quite strong at home. I'm going to go in that game. I'm going to go for 1-1. We've got Cardiff against Preston. Cardiff been picking up. Preston's been pretty damn good, to be fair. But in that game, I'm going to go for 1-0 to Cardiff. And then we've got Coventry against Sheffield United. Excuse me. Coventry will lose that one 2-0. We've got Millwall against Middlesbrough. That's 2-1 going to be. I'll go 2-1 Millwall. And then we've got Forest against Reading. I'll say 3-1 Forest. And then we've got Peterborough against Stoke. Peterborough, I think they're going down. They're down. They're dead and buried. I'll go with the Stoke 2-0 on that one. And then we're flicking into League One. AFC Wimbledon are playing Lincoln City. And I think like AFC Wimbledon and Lincoln, they're both fighting to sort of not get relegated from League One. But I'm going to say that basically Wimbledon will win that one 2-1. There's a few other key games in League One. There's another one, Ipswich are playing Portsmouth. I'm going to go with that, say 2-0 to Ipswich on that. And Sheffield Wednesday, they're in the playoffs, but they're looking to stay in there against Cambridge. I'm going to go 3-1 Wednesday with that one. And then we've got Sunderland against Crewe. Sunderland are smashing it. Crewe, they're pretty much going down from League One into League Two. So I'm going to say 4-1 to Sunderland with that one. Wickham against Rotherham, that's probably going to be the tie of League One. Wickham's in the playoffs, Rotherham's at the top. Rotherham are going to be in the Championship next season, I'm pretty sure of that. But I'm going to say in that game, though, I'm going to say 3-2 to Rotherham. Flicking into League Two, the bottom league. We've got Bristol Rovers against Harrogate. I'll go 2-0 to Rovers. My team, who were absolutely shocking, they're getting relegated to the conference, Scunthorpe. They're playing a big game against Colchester. I think they might just get a result here. I'm going to go 1-0 to Scunthorpe, but it's still not going to be enough to get them out of it all. And then there's a few other key games in there. Swindon are fighting for it. Oldham are still trying to make sure that they can stay up for definite. Swindon's going to win that 2-0. And then we're looking at Forest Green and Bradford. Forest Green are up the top there. Forest Green will win that one. I'm going to go 3-1. Exeter's going to beat Salford 2. I'll say 2-0 again on that. And that's it pretty much for all the key games on all the leagues. That's my predictions. But I'm going to talk about more what's happening in the week. Chelsea, basically everything's been frozen. All the assets have been frozen. Roman Abramovich, because of what's going on with the war between Russia and Ukraine. The club shop's closed. They can't sell tickets. They're meant to be playing games. I don't know how the hell they're going to do it. In my view, they should just let the fans go in for free because they've been loyal to them for all those years. Just until that gets lifted, that ban, which, let's be honest, no one knows when that's going to end because of what's going on with the war. Mad times, but that's what we're living in. Just got to get on with it. We're quite lucky being in England at the moment, I'd say. But anyway, I'm going to go in more detail. I think Manchester United, looking at that Manchester United Tottenham game coming up on Saturday, it's a 5:30 kickoff. It's on Sky Sports. But Manchester United, they're being a bit shocking at the moment. Rashford's not what he used to be. I think he's got distracted with a lot of things. He's a great bloke off the pitch. He's doing fantastic things for the kids and for helping out people with mental health and that's got to be commended. But when your main job's football, obviously you've got to concentrate on that. He's not been doing very well with it. A couple of other players have lost their form a bit. Bruno Fernandes is not what he was last season, which is not very good, as we know. Man United have sort of started, and I'll be surprised. I won't even be surprised if they finish 6th or 7th the way they're playing at the moment. Arsenal's got the advantage because they've got the games in hand to get into the Champions League, and Arsenal are playing some pretty good football at the moment with the young team that they've got. It's going really well. Arteta's looking like he's going to be a really good manager. Not really surprised because he's been following Pep Guardiola at Manchester City for a few seasons. Obviously, he's learnt a lot from him. You can see it in the way that Arsenal are playing. It's fast, free-flowing football. It's really exciting to watch. I've got to be honest, last season it was pretty shocking, most of it to watch, and the season before that. And I was laughing because some of the Arsenal fans have been slating Arsene Wenger, even though he was the best manager that Arsenal have ever had. But it seems that Arteta might be bringing back some of the good times, at least allowing them to get a trophy. They might not win the Premier League for a long time, but I can see them doing something in Europe next season or in some of the cups next season as well. So it's looking pretty good. I'm going to say, stick my neck on the line now and say Arsenal will get that 4th spot. Manchester City, Liverpool obviously fighting for the title. Chelsea's about 10 points off them, off Liverpool, but I can't see Chelsea having anything to say about the title fight. They'll finish in 3rd though, and then it's a fight between, like I say, Liverpool, Manchester City to win the title. But yeah, but we're going to look on to Sunday's fixtures. There's a hell of a lot of games being played on a Sunday because of all the European fixtures in midweek on the Wednesday and the Thursday, just to allow those players to rest a bit more because obviously they're having to travel back from different parts of Europe, some of them. Anyway, look on Sunday games. You've got about five games at 2:00. Chelsea's playing Newcastle. That's going to be on Sky Sports. I'm going to go in that game. Chelsea are playing really well, but Newcastle, they seem to be getting something. But I will go with Chelsea narrowly on that. I'll say 2-1 Chelsea. Arsenal's got a 4:30 kickoff on Sky as well. I'm going to go for Arsenal to win that one. I'm going to say 2-0. And then we've got Everton against Wolves at 2:00. Everton, they're fighting for their lives to stay in the Premier League, but they're playing pretty shocking. They're losing a lot. It's not looking good for Frank Lampard. I think they've got a good chance of going down. Everton against Wolves. I'm going to go for 2-0 Wolves in that game. And I'm going to go Leeds against Norwich. Leeds, they're doing shocking. Norwich are doing shocking. You might think it probably looks like 0-0 all over it, but I'll say 1-0 Leeds. I'll say that Bamford will score a goal and he's come back from injury. Southampton against Watford. Watford got smashed by Wolves in midweek, literally going back a couple of days ago. In fact, last night even. Lost 4-0 to Wolves. I can only see Southampton making a comeback in this game. I'm going to go 3-0 Southampton. We've got West Ham against Aston Villa. Obviously, as everyone knows, I've got a lot of West Ham fans around me where I'm living. I would say West Ham will lose that 1-2-1 to Aston Villa because Aston Villa are on a bit of a good run. They've beaten Southampton 4-0. They won 3-0 away at Leeds a couple of nights back. They're absolutely flying at the moment. So I'll go 2-1 to Aston Villa. And then we've got Luton against QPR in the Championship. That's a 12:00 kickoff. Luton and QPR both in the playoffs, both fighting to stay in there. QPR on a really bad run at the moment. Luton are absolutely flying. I'm going to say Luton 2-1 in that game. And then we've got 2 games in the Scottish Cup 6th round. Dundee's playing Rangers at 4:00. I'm going to say Rangers 2-0 with that. So Motherwell against the Hibernian. I'm going to go probably, I'll say 1-1 in that game. So that's the predictions for the Sunday games. Looking in more detail with that, like I say, Arteta's doing a fantastic job at Arsenal. As I say, I expect them to beat Leicester quite comfortably on Sunday. And Chelsea, although there's a lot of drama going on the pitch, they're playing some fantastic games at the moment. They're doing really, really well. And it's not really surprising. They've got a really good manager. There was slight rumours that Tuchel, the Chelsea manager, might be swayed to go to Manchester United if all the drama that's going on at Chelsea continues with what's going on, because he's obviously Russian and he might be connected to Putin in some way or another. Who knows? In fact, who cares? Because we're here to talk about football, not to talk about all that nonsense that's going on with all the madness and stuff. Anyway, Monday night, we've got Crystal Palace playing Manchester City. Yet again, that's on Sky Sports. I'm going to say Manchester City to win that one. And I think it will be a narrow one. I'm going to go 2-1 to Manchester City on that game. Um, Manchester City, in my mind, when I saw them against Manchester United last weekend, they absolutely smashed them. There was a moment where it looked like Man United would get something when they drew it back to 1-1, but in all honesty, I can only see Manchester City winning this one, and I'm going to go for, like I say, 2-1. I think it will be a narrow one. Palace are playing some decent stuff, but I don't think they've got enough to get anything against Manchester City. They are the informed team. Now, I don't normally do this, but I'm going to do a shout out to Dagenham and Redbridge because they're in the quarterfinals of the FA Trophy. They're, aside from AFC Hornchurch, they're probably one of the closest teams to where I live. They're doing fantastic in the Cup. They've got York City at home. I'm going to say 2-0 for Dagenham in that game. And a couple of other games in that quarterfinal. You've got Bromley against Solihull Moors. I'm going to say 2-1 to Bromley. And then Needham Market, who I've never actually heard of before. They're playing Stockport County. One of my mates is a Stockport County fan. I'm going to say 2 or 3-0. I'll say 3-0 to Stockport in that game. And then, so that's all the games. That's the games for the weekend. Going into the Championship more, I was looking at it. I would say, like I said earlier, Fulham, they're going to be safely going up as champions. They've got 84 goals or something crazy already this season. I think Mitrovic has got 36 goals or something crazy, and there's still another 11 or 12 games to go. So it's all to play for. There's a record that Reading set in the Championship, which is basically they finished with 106 points and 104 goals in a season. And the way that Fulham are scoring, they're on average scoring something crazy like nearly 4 goals a game. So I would say that they're going to smash that record. It's pretty simply. It's probably one of the best Championship teams that we've ever seen. In fact, that team with Marco Silva as the manager is good enough to compete probably nearly at mid-table probably for Fulham with a few extra additions when they go up. I don't think they're going to be a yo-yo team like they were the last couple of times they've gone up. I can see Fulham doing something a little bit more decent, maybe finishing 15th when they get promoted into for the to the Premier League this season. And I've looked at a few other games. As I say, going down near the bottom, Hull sort of they've got like about 11, 12 point gap, so they're not really going to get relegated. But I can't see it happening. But I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, like I say, I've gone for a 1-1 draw there. Birmingham have been picking up some decent results. Bowie's done a decent job there. They don't have loads of money to spend. They get a lot of players on loan, like quite a few clubs to be fair in the lower leagues. But he's done a decent job. You know, I mean, they're not going to really ever get in the playoffs with the lack of money that they've got. I mean, I would say if I was going to do a shout out for the best managers in the Championship this year, Tony Mowbray's done a fantastic job with Blackburn, but the standout one that doesn't get mentioned too much is Luton Town manager Nathan Jones. As a lot of people know, he went away to manage another team. It didn't work out for him. When he come back again, he's absolutely got Luton flying, and they're on a bit of a good run now. And they're probably the team out of all the teams, along with Sheffield United, that are really making a lot of momentum to get into the playoffs. And even looking at Sheffield United, you're looking and you're thinking to yourself, after beating Middlesbrough 4-1 on, I believe it was Tuesday night, you're looking at it and you're thinking Sheffield United, they've still got a good chance of even getting into that second spot, you know. So be interesting to see what happens. Tonight, Friday night, we've got West Brom against Huddersfield. As I say, I've gone for Huddersfield to win 2-1. Now, they've had a bit of a blip. They lost in the FA Cup to Forest last Sunday, but it was only narrowly, or last Monday even, the Monday just gone. And they lost 2-1 to them. But Forest are a good team at home. But I fancy Huddersfield to get back on track. Like I say, I'm going 2-1. I forgot to mention that Tranmere are also playing Mansfield tonight, Friday night. And that's Tranmere, I believe, near the playoffs. Mansfield are obviously near there as well. I'm going to say in that game, I'm going to go with a 2-2 in that game, I'm going to say. No, 2-1. I'll say 2-1 Tranmere. And then we've got an FA Cup Trophy quarter final. That's to complete the other three that are playing tomorrow on Saturday. That's going to be Notts County against Wrexham. That's going to be a tight game. I'm going to say 1-1, and I'm going to say it's probably going to go into extra time. And I'll say Wrexham to win in extra time. So that's going on with that. So looking at the focus, like I say, Chelsea, they've had everything frozen at the moment. All Abramovich assets are being frozen because of the restrictions the government has put on. It's not going to affect them on the pitch, but it's looking at next season will be the telling sign whether that Chelsea can get the opportunity to sell the club to somebody that's got some good money. You know, obviously billionaires they're going to need, so they can keep maintaining that success that they've had winning trophies. Whatever's going on with Abramovich or anything that's gone on any of the stuff. Like I said on the previous episode, he's done a fantastic job at Chelsea. There's no team in this country that's won more in the last 20 years. Everyone would expect it to be Manchester United or Manchester City, but Chelsea have actually won the most trophies in the last 20 years. Which, when you think what Chelsea were like before he took over, they were pretty poor. They were a mid-table top division team at best, and they even was in the second division years ago. So when you look at how great they are, how many they won the Europa League twice with him, they've won the Champions League twice with him, they've won, I think it's 6 Premier League titles. They've also won a number of FA Cups and League Cups since he took charge of them. I believe he took charge of them in 2002. That's 20 years that he's been with them, and now he's had to go. I think the rumours are still that there's a Swiss consortium that's trying to take over, a Swiss billionaire. But we'll have to see what happens. There was a bit of a jokey thing on Twitter. Conor McGregor, the UFC fighter that used to be really, really good, he was saying, should we buy Chelsea? I don't know if he was going to get some of his mates to get behind it and do it, but I can't see that happening just purely because Chelsea, because they're such a big and successful club at the moment, they need that momentum to keep going, and the only way to do that is to get billionaires that they can definitely rely on and look for somebody that can be there for them for another 20 years that can help them to continue that consistency that they need. Because they've become a fantastic club, which I know Tottenham fans and Arsenal fans won't agree with that, and pretty much other London teams in general. But they have become a great club and a very consistent club for winning trophies. If they don't win one season, they're going to win something the next season. That's pretty much how it's been most of the time. So as I say, like looking at the review, I looked on. I was saying about Liverpool playing Brighton, and that's the 12:30 kickoff. That's on BT Sport on Saturday. I said 3-1. Chatting to my mate earlier, he thinks it's going to be 3-0. But I think Liverpool, they're just on fire at the moment. Liverpool have got a fantastic chance of winning the league. They are a great team. I would say it's so tough to call between Manchester City and Liverpool. Manchester City have the upper hand at the moment. They have a 3-point advantage. But as we know, Manchester City have still got to play Liverpool at home. And obviously, if Liverpool can win that, they've got a slightly better goal difference than Manchester City, which would make for really interesting. I really hope that it goes down to last day drama, that it's literally on goal difference, whoever wins out the two of them. And I know a lot of Liverpool fans that would be happy to see them win it again. I think Liverpool must win it, even though it's not in their favour completely. They must win it to prove that they are a great team, because it's okay to win the trophy, win the Champions League, and to win the league once. But if you can't win it again a few seasons later, you can't really be one of the best teams that's ever existed. We've had Manchester United teams in the past that have won 3 Premier Leagues on the bounce. They've won Champions Leagues in those times as well, and other cups like the FA Cup. And so to become a great team, Liverpool would need to win the Champions League. They'd have to do the treble basically that Manchester United did. They've already won the League Cup. They're in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. They're second in the Premier League, and they're also in the. They also got through just narrowly against Inter Milan on a Wednesday night, I believe. No, Tuesday night even. Lost 1-0 at home to them, but they went through 2 on an aggregate, having won 2-0 at the San Siro at Inter Milan, and and they are gonna be. They're gonna take some beating. They're gonna be one of the favourites to win the Champions League. But if Liverpool can win all those trophies, if they could win the title, if they could win the Champions League, the FA Cup, they've already got the Carabao Cup. I was saying the league, I call it the League Cup because I'm old school, but they've already won the League Cup. If they win all 4 of them, they've got to be without doubt the best team that's ever existed in English football, because no one's ever won all those 4 trophies in one season. So that would be some feat for that to happen. I believe it's happened abroad. I think Barcelona managed it a few times, and Bayern Munich as well has done it. But apart from that, that would make them a great team. Of course, the best teams that have ever existed, especially in the European competitions, has to be Real Madrid. I believe they've won the Champions League something stupid like 12 times or something. The nearest English team to that is obviously Liverpool with 6 Champions Leagues, which is impressive, but nowhere near Real Madrid's stature. So that's still the place to go. I pretty much on that game when Real Madrid beat PSG on Wednesday night, and they were 1-0 down from the first leg. They won 3-1. And I looked at that game, and Benzema, up until I think it was the 70th minute, They were losing 1-0, 2-0 on aggregate even, but losing 1-0 at home to PSG on the night and 2-0 down. They got 3 goals back within, I think it was like 9 minutes or 10 minutes from Benzema, who's like 33 or 34 years old, which is, he's becoming pretty amazing. In fact, I would say Benzema this season is eclipsing Ronaldo and Messi because for the amount of goals he's been scoring. I think he's just played generally better than them. I think Messi's had some decent games, but he's found it hard to adjust to the PSG style. And likewise, Ronaldo's just become disillusioned with the Manchester United team that he's come back to, the team that he left with Rooney and Rio Ferdinand and all those great players years ago who were really solid for the Manchester United and winning trophies consistently. He's come to Manchester United, he's seen how bad it is and how badly run and organised it is, and that they've got like a part-time manager in charge, which is just, it's just an absolute insult. It's really a mockery to their fans and to everything that they've achieved over the last sort of 25 to, well, 30 years really with Alex Ferguson. He turned them. He did exactly what he said he was going to do, which was to topple Liverpool off the perch. And now it looks like it's going backwards, and it looks like Liverpool's going to get back their perch basically. So it's looking pretty bad. But like, there was an argument on Sky Sports that was saying that it doesn't matter what Manchester City and Liverpool do over the next sort of 10 years or whatever, they'll never be as big a club as Manchester United or Liverpool purely because of the amount of trophies that those two won in a time when there wasn't as much money about, in a time when it was relying more on a smaller squad to win stuff. And they don't get that these days. These days they have plenty of money. The top teams, they have a massive squads. If you look at Liverpool and Manchester City, they've got another 11 players that can replace the usual 11 players that could still put in a good shift and still have chances of winning things. And that's the sign of a great squad. That Manchester United team, which is the greatest team that's ever existed in this country in 1999 when they won the treble. They won the FA Cup, the Premier League, and they won the Champions League in one season. That team is fantastic.